Hello, everyone. I thank you for stopping by. Let's get down to this. In the last week or so, yeah, a week and a half or so, a lot of videos have flown around, especially on X and Instagram, where I have seen the usual uproar, outcry on behalf of s- some of the terrorists in Gaza, the Hamas terrorists in Gaza who was trapped in the very tunnels that they built for themselves, trapped. And people were speculating, what should Israel do? How should Israel address that situation? Some suggested flood the tunnels with from the Mediterranean with liquid cement or whatnot. Well, now, not too long ago again, there's been open heavens, a downpour, and the tents of the some of the few innocent people have been flooded. Now, the world, these these are in the midst of the ceasefire. It's in quotes because terrorists, Hamas, are still doing things, taking the lives of the IDF soldiers. Few of them have fallen because terrorist Hamas is still active, despite the ceasefire in quotes. But I just wanted to quickly say that the world suddenly woke up when the ceasefire occurred. The supporters of the terrorists all over the world, especially in the Western world, in the US, in Australia, the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, and so on, they went mute. It was mortuary silence. They were not happy because whatever are they going to do with their lives? There's a ceasefire. But as soon as the rains came, the terrorists were trapped in the tunnel. Whoop! They came out of the comatose state with parents with shouting, screaming, and shaking children almost to the point of their heads dropping off. But in the midst of all this, while people do that, we haven't heard people spread the news about the active, intentional genocide going on in the nation of Nigeria. The innocent Christians in that most populous black nation in the world have been the direct target, the victims of Islam terrorists for decades. It didn't start this year, it didn't start in the 2020s. It's been going on. The world had remained totally silent, ignorant, intentionally ignored Nigeria. Suddenly, Donald Trump's attention had been drawn to it. He made a tweet, a simple tweet, and everybody was screaming. And then the lies began. Of course, the usual politicians who gain from those things, who are actually directly, some of them, sponsoring and cheering the terrorists on. Of course, they found the normal liars, actors, to come and say that no, those things are not happening. Sadly, I can tell you that I have heard. For the security of these people, we do not share them. That's why it's really hurtful. People live every day in those locations in the northern part of Nigeria, in the middle belts, as if that's their last, because they do not know whether they would come back home, whether they will be safe in their homes, because the terrorists could show up anytime, any day. The government, of course, they're too busy looting, stealing public funds to even bother. So, I just wanted to remind us not to be so distracted by the usual outcry. Gaza is the only place on earth that is important. The only eternal victims that is the lying legacy, useless media, nonsense British. The people who have the loudest voices are interested in, where they forget the real victims. They choose to ignore them. I do not know why. However, I just want to remind us, the people in Nigeria, Sudan, Congo, Syria, there are Christians. Yes, some people come to justify it by the token Muslim people that get mixed up, sometimes also affected as Islam people carry out these massacres. There Muslims are killed too. Yes. How many mosques have been burnt? Let's take Nigeria, for instance. Thousands and thousands of churches have been burnt, destroyed. My friends, it is very real. This is active. It is going on. Every day, Nigerians, Christian Nigerians in the north, in the middle belt, are being slaughtered. As you focus on Gaza, the terrorists, Hamas in Gaza, where there is no genocide. As a matter of fact, there were some of the photos I saw of the flood, and I tried as hard as I could. There was not one person who looked like he or she, adult or child, was starving. Those are well-fed people. Israel, I don't know how you do it, but you are the worst at committing genocide. But I thank God, because as the dust of that war, nonsense war settles, the truth is coming out. People are seeing all the lies that were told. The smear campaign against Israel. It's all coming out, and we're seeing it. Remember Nigeria. Remember the poor, black, innocent Christians. Because Nigeria is mostly black nation. So I do not understand why the utterly nonsense gang of nations is silent. Where Gaza has armor, specifically for those few people there, 2 million people, millions of people are at risk and are actually victims of terrorism. There is no special UN body to cater for them, the displaced, or to cry out for the genocide that has been going on. It's a shame, but we will continue to speak, do what we can to spread the news. I thank God for some people in that nation, Prophet Isa El Buba. I think he's in the middle belt in the Plateau States. He's doing what he can. And there is that other man who's been very outspoken. We pray for them. We will do whatever we can to continue to support them from our little corner of the world. But please, just be aware that what's going on in Nigeria should be alarming and should be urgent for the world to step in and do something. I hope that the talks by President Donald Trump, will not just be talks as usual, and then it will die down again and business as usual, everything continues for the terrorists to continue. May this be something that would work, that will actually be redemptive for those poor, innocent Christians in Nigeria. Thank you for your time. I'll see you again soon. God bless.